I mean, I think she's lying to herself. I really believe that Teresa believes this, that the ladies played the game all wrong, that Margaret was speaking to someone from Louis's past. She was. Shame, shame, Margaret. And hi, Vanessa. And that her brother did, and the sister-in-law, and the ladies played the game all wrong, and we're now on a pause because of all of these women, not because of Teresa. Whew, just like Katie, I think Teresa has lost it. She really thinks there's a pause now because of Margaret and because of Melissa and because of Joe. I'm not saying it's not because of them, but sweetheart, it's because of you too. She then goes on to say that she would rather forgive it's been 10 years and she's at total peace now. I believe this. She has nothing to do with Melissa and Joe, and she's so peaceful. She says she would rather forgive a stranger because if a stranger fucks you over, I mean, that's bad, but it's a stranger. If your family fucks you over, no way. How do you come back from that? Okay. This one's a neutral for me. I get what she's saying. Okay, that you just don't come back from that, and sure, I understand that. She does say she never planned to introduce Louis on camera. That Joe, her brother, was the one that introduced him. She didn't even want Louis on the show. She was trying to keep Louis on the down low. And if she knew that her brother was going to do to Louis just what he did to her ex, Juicy Joe, she would have played this whole thing differently. Well, listen, here's some good news for you, Teresa. I actually believe that you didn't want to introduce Louis on the show. Joe might have had a say in it. Yeah, he might have had a hand in this, just like he did with Juicy Joe. But what you're not factoring in, Teresa, darling, is that Louis was his plan was to introduce himself on the show. So whether your brother wanted to introduce him on the show, whether Melissa wanted to introduce him on the show, whether Antonio or Gia or Melania or even Adriana planned to introduce him on the show, whether Rosie and Kathy were going to walk down the street and see him and introduce him on the show, whether Andy or the corporate execs at Bravo were going to introduce him on the show, Louis was going to introduce himself on the show, sweetheart, because this is part of his plan the whole time to meet you, get you to fall in love with him, get access to your money, and get on the fucking show. So that one I got to side with everybody else. Um, she goes on to say Marge did this so dirty again. The fact that Teresa is out, look, I think it's just like on Survivor and it's just like on Big Brother. When you don't think, when you're on Survivor and you get cocky even for a minute. Who's going home tonight? Oh, we should vote this one off. We should vote that one off. And you overplay your hand. Guess what, sweetheart? You're the one going home. You're the one everyone's talking about. So when you're walking around to everyone saying, what's the strategy and who's going home? The joke is on you. That is the minute you get voted out of Survivor. It makes me nervous for all the stumps out there, for all the stumps. It doesn't sit well when Melissa is doing interviews and Margaret is doing interviews and they're saying, we don't know. We're on pause. We don't know when we're coming back. We don't know what's going to happen. It was such a great experience. It was such a great run. None of us know. Let's see. That, now I'm not saying Margaret's coming back. I'm just saying that is a lot different. And that is what the corporate parent Bravo wants. This reeks of a little bit of too confident when she's saying the ladies did this wrong and they played this wrong and this and that. It's still taking no responsibility. I mean, and Melissa's old knows you did this with Jennifer Aiden leaked the screeners. It's okay. We're over that. We're not going back. I'm not talking about shit from last season. The point is, if you really, really, really don't think that you had anything to do with this pause, we got a big problem, just like Katie Maloney, who really thinks she left Vanderpump Rules on her own. We got a problem. If you know you're lying and you're lying to spin a narrative, okay, I get it. We lie. That's what we do here in Real Housewives. I mean, I don't lie, but that's what we all do, right? That's what you get the contract, you lie, you make us. I get it, Teresa. I get it. That's what we do. But girl, if you really believe this, man, she also goes on to talk about Danielle Staub to say that she had too many false tries with her and she had so many ups and downs. She says she wants Jennifer Aiden on the villains, and Jennifer Aiden ain't going on no villains. There's no job out there for Jennifer Aiden. Okay. The network is done with her. Sorry. Dolores is actually going to get jobs, Teresa, because of you, because you're more expensive and harder to work with. Dolores will kind of become the face of New Jersey. I think Margaret and Melissa could pick up some jobs. Um, I don't see it for Jennifer. Melissa, speaking of Melissa, and then we really have to go. Speaking of Melissa, God, I had other things to say besides fucking Jersey. We'll save it. Speaking of Melissa, she has sprinkle cookies now. Sprinkle cookies by Melissa at Envy. So good for you. I mean, it's taken over a decade, but capitalize on that shit, girl. Now, I had the psychic Robin on months ago. Months ago, she said she made the predictions. Teresa and Louie were not going. It's not going to be a good 2025 for them. She was just here again. Said the same thing. I didn't tell her to say that. She also said that sometime in November, which is when we had the OC reunion, she said this in like September. Said sometime in November, Shannon and Tamra will make one step closer to reconciling. Well, guess what? That is what happened. Okay. She also predicted that Vicky's lawsuits are going to heat up around this time. So, ooh, bad news for Miss Gumbelson. But, I didn't say it. So, my point is, Teresa had her psychic on like the next day. She listened to the show. They all listen. So, now with Melissa's sprinkle cookies, Teresa, if we see you have Pinoli cookies, come on, girl. You know you copied Melissa. That's okay. People say Melissa copies Teresa. I'm just saying. So there we are. I wouldn't keep talking like this, Teresa. I don't think it's going to help the pause. And please, I'm not coming down too easy on Margaret. She's not innocent either. So Melissa, Joe, oh, everyone's. But I just think at this point, this attitude of the ladies did something wrong. It's not going to help bring back the show. We're going to keep recapping Beverly Hills, guys. Keep listening. I got a lot to say. New episode tonight. I can't wait. We'll be talking all about it. We are going to have do you realize we have a great 2025? This month isn't over. We have a great 2025 for you. There's so many people already lined up. Daddy is working again. Daddy is hard at work here. I love you guys. It's a busy month. Hang in there. It's a tough month. Reflect upon the year. Those of you that have had a good year, it was about time, right? We had a good year. Those of you that haven't, guess what? In 20 days, the shit's over. I had a great year. I'm not just talking about the podcast, just in general. I mean, I am talking about the podcast. This was our best year yet, but just in general, I had a good year. I understand what it means to have a bad year. So anyone that has had a bad year, just hang in there. There are 21 more days and everything will be reset. Again, I think you should get a psychic reading. I'm not just trying to say that. I find these guys really great. If you don't know how to do it, slip into my DMs. I've been spending hours telling people how to find the psychic that they want and how to get the $20 deal, which will not last forever. And let's have some fun during the holidays. Thank you. Tonight is Beverly Hills. We're going to watch it. And how many people are going to keep the TV on after and still watch RHONJ? That is the question. Love you all. Have a great day. This is just a quick hit, so I got to go. Love you guys. Bye.